Hey guys, Azulx here. I'm trying something a little bit different. I'm gonna put this somewhere in the schedule, just kind of like give you guys something while I'm building on other projects and making the big project I mentioned in my update video. This is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time, but it's never quite fit into the Works Reviews banner. So I'm gonna talk about what my perspective on fandoms and creators. Okay? Like, this is something I've wanted to talk about for a long time. And I've seen a lot of examples of creators, like, getting shit for not doing what a certain group of fans will want them to do. This set of tweets right here is what inspired me to make this video in the first place. And I will say, I understand that certain people may not like Rick Flag Sr. as a character. I personally do. But I feel like the idea that no one likes the character and insisting that no one likes the character is rather arrogant. And I do believe that people should knock that type of shit off. And also, just because you're a fan of something does not mean you have any right to go and harass people just because they disagree with you. And it also doesn't mean you get to harass creators because they do something you disagree with. I believe that, for the most part, a creator knows what's best. I did not used to believe this way. I did not used to think this way. Don't get me wrong, I'm stubborn. I'm not going to pretend I'm not. I am one of the most stubborn men I've ever known, personally. But, I'm going to give a personal example for myself and talk about my experiences with how fandoms have reacted to certain decisions I've made to kind of give you an idea of why I've come to this perspective over the years. Because, again, originally, I didn't fully think this way. I believe fans were, observant in nature, and, I believe they had good intentions with a lot of things they say. I no longer think that way. I've seen, this is something I've experienced firsthand, and I've also seen this firsthand as well, that when a fan who, even people who are brand fucking new, just being like, we don't want this from you. We want you to do something. We want you to do this other thing that we like. My thing is with that, I'm all for criticism. I'm all for it, and I believe any criticism, actually maybe not any, but most criticism can help when a creator needs to improve or what they could do to improve, whatever, right? But I do not like it when a fan, even people who are just watching casually, right, come on there and say, we don't want you doing this, or this is this is bad, but this is good. What you're doing here is good. What you're doing here is bad. I hate this, and the thing is, again, I'll talk about my personal experience with this in a sec. But a friend of mine, experience when we did two videos together recently. Actually, I'll just say it. Darius, me and Darius did the 49th episode and the 50th episode of Darius Reviews. And people, and this one fan, I'm not gonna mention who they are. And again, don't go harass anyone I talk about. Don't do that. That's not something I'm for. I think if you do that, you're a scumbag. But the thing that bothers me was about that whole situation is that he was like, oh, the ending was problematic because I said faggot instead of faggot. For those that don't know, I play a character on my show called Chris Homo. He's meant to be this overly edgy, he's meant to be the biggest scumbag, essentially. Homophobic, transphobic, racist, sexist, rapist, all that. Complete asshole, complete scum of the earth, right? And Darius and this fan didn't really get in an argument, but they started talking about my character, and I did step in and I defended, not only my friend but myself as well, and I talked about the character and why the character was the way he was, and what happened with that was the fan didn't respond to what I said. He just insisted that, the whole thing, he responded to Darius basically saying, oh, that's still bad, that's even worse, and blah, 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 blah. But I do want to add in here that, as far as I know, the fan never watched Darius's videos again. I don't even believe he's subscribed to the channel still. Again, this is just as far as Darius has told me, and as far as, we've come to the conclusion that he's just done with both of us. And I do want to say it is a shame that the fan ended up taking it the wrong way, but if you weren't willing, and I even said to the fan at the time that, like, give the 50th episode a chance. If you don't like it, then fuck off. Well, I didn't say fuck off, but kind of get the idea. Like, I told him, like, at least give the show a chance. You know what I mean? And give the 50th episode a chance. As far as we don't think he did. At least he hasn't said anything about it. I don't know why I'm adding this in here, but I just feel like it's important to add. You know, I guess I've always mentioned to Darius. I've actually been saying, like, have a fucking backbone, and like I've actually, like, taught him this, and I've taught a few other people this. Stand up for yourself. Don't just take shit from these people, right? They don't know. Most of them don't know who the fuck you are, and even the ones that do, that are, like, saying that they know better than you, aren't worth shit. And I've told people that multiple times, and it's one of those things that, like, generally pisses me off. And I think it's one of those things that, like, people need to understand. Just because you watch our stuff does not mean that you get to dictate what we do with our content. I think it's arrogant, and I think at worst it can be absolutely dangerous when a fan has too much power over the projects that we do. And I think as well that sometimes I think fans just need to back the fuck off of the creators, especially when stupid mistakes were made, like a fucking tweet that was said like 10 years ago making a dark joke, or me misunderstanding a game that was actually rather more problematic than what I thought it was originally. I'm just saying these as examples here. I want to say as well, I'll mention my personal example of this. I talked about in the past my experiences with Join Our Misadventures and, like, doing that show and community post. I've never really made a video talking about it, but I guess this is the video. Join Our Misadventures is something I heavily enjoyed doing. Some of my best videos, in my opinion, were Join Our Misadventures episodes. The best episode of that entire show, well, two of the best episodes, one of them being the Vegas episode, and the other one being one of the Trevor battles, and the one where I, like, fly back into the river, like lake or whatever the fuck it was, river. I'll just say that. And a couple of people came to me and was like, "Jonah ain't funny. You should cut him out of the show. You should cut the actor out as well." And for me, I respect people's opinions when it comes to that sort of thing, but I won't always listen. The only reason we stopped eventually is because me and the actor who played Jonah had a falling out. That's the only reason we stopped. I wasn't going to stop, because the thing is, at the end of the day, for me, I respect people's opinions, but I don't do it for other people. I do the content I do now for myself, and a few of my friends as well. Because at the end of the day, I don't agree with the idea that just because you watch my stuff, just because you like it, doesn't mean you get to dictate what we do. And this is something I've always said, and I choose the storylines are particularly sacred to me when it comes to books reviews, for example, and my character. I've had people tell me that I should do it this way, and, like, it would be better if I did it this way. Sometimes I'll listen, sometimes I won't. And I'm all for suggestions, and I'm all for criticism. But when it comes at the expense of the story you're trying to tell, then I'm just not going to listen to you, or if I don't necessarily agree with your criticism. That's just how I am as a person. And, you know, it's one of those things that generally bothers me, but, you know, people are going to be who they are, and I think as creators, and maybe I'll probably end up losing a few people for this, but I'm not always going to listen to you guys. That's just me being honest here. I'm not always going to favor what you guys say over my own vision and my own creative mind. A criticism that I get a lot is that my videos are too short and I should make my videos longer. I understand where people are coming from with this, but this is to more clear things up on my end and why I make videos like this. I make my videos for the common folk. I don't make videos for people that just spend unlimited amount of time watching Quentin reviews make 17-hour-long videos. That's not who I am, and that's not someone I ever want to be. I do my best to make my videos as short as possible while making them good. And sometimes I fail at this, but I always try my best. I'm gonna say this, and this is just something I've always believed. If you believe you're better than some other creator when it comes to storytelling or filmmaking or, hell, just skits in general or comedy or whatever, make your own shit. Then talk to me. And even now, I'm probably not going to listen to you. That's just how I feel. To kind of bring this video to a close, I hope this video makes you guys understand that just because you guys watch my videos, just because you like them, just because you subscribe or whatever, it does not mean that you guys have any authority over me on what I do with my own content. And quite frankly, it is something that pisses me off when I get comments from people being like, oh, you have to do this, you don't do this, do that, like thinking that you guys actually have any authority over me. It sucks that I have to deal with this bullshit, but it's something that I have to deal with, and I'm going to make this clear in this video, and I will probably put it in the comment section as well of this video. If you guys ever, under any circumstances, come to me and say, you're doing content wrong, or you're doing this the wrong way, you have to do it like this, or you're not going to succeed, I'm not going to listen to you. You're not worth my time or energy. And I'm probably even going to block you if I'm just feeling extra pissed off that you guys are commenting this type of shit. I'm sorry I got a little bit angry at the end, but it's one of those things that's been pissing me off for a long time, and I'm finally able to just say it. I hope you guys enjoy these more thought videos. I plan on doing more just because it will give you guys something while I'm working on bigger projects. And I am going to slide these type of videos in schedule places where I can't necessarily make a regular Brooks Reviews episode or a regular skit. I'm going to try and do these more talking videos just to kind of give you guys something. I hope these work. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Take care.